So today we're going to be looking at algebra tiles online. So this particular algebra tiles allows us to use it in 4 different ways. We can solve, substitute, expand, or factor. But today we're just going to be looking at how to solve and how to expand. So let's start with our first equation. We have 2x minus 5 equals 2 plus 3x. So this left side of the equation here, we're going to build our model on this left side, and the right side of the equation, we're going to build the model and represent it on the right side. So let's start with 2x minus 5. So we're going to come over here and we see 1, x, and x squared. So we're going to start with building 2 x's. And then there's a minus 5. And we see here that everything is positive at the moment. What we can do to change the sign is to click on this button. So if you want to go from positive to negative or negative to positive, you can click on that. And everything will turn to the opposite sign. So we're going to continue building negative 5. Here's negative 3. Negative 4, and negative 5. And now for the right side, it's 2 plus 3x, so we have to change our sign once again to positive. Build 2 and 3x. Here's 1, 2, and 3. So after you're done building your model, you're going to press this check button to see if it's correct. If we want to start over for any reason, we can always click on this and it'll remove all the tiles for us so we can start over. So let's click on X for the check, and that means that our model is correct. So now we're going to be solving for X. So what we first need to do is combine like terms. So we want all the x's on one side and all the numbers on the other side. So we're going to be moving these 2 x's over to the right side. So in order to remove these 2 x's, what we're going to be doing, equation-wise, is to subtract 2x from this side and subtract 2x from the other side, because we know what we do to the left, we have to do to the right to keep the equation balanced. So what's good about this algebra tiles is that we can simply highlight it and flip the sign. And after we flip the sign, we're gonna let's go back to the arrow, drag it over to the other side. So we see that we subtracted 2x and it's gone. Subtracted 2x and it's represented here with our flip tiles. We're going to do the same with our numbers. We'll highlight the 2, change the sign, drag it over to the other side. So we have combined like terms. So here are all the numbers and all the x's. But we see here that we have positive x's and negative x's. And that is when this button will come in handy. So this one is to get rid of 0 pairs. So we have a positive x and a negative x. So we're going to click them together and they disappear, because we know that a positive x and a negative x equals 0. So here's a positive and it'll be canceled by the negative. Oops. Let's go back to that, click it once again. Okay, so let's try that one more time. So we're going to click on the get rid of 0 pairs, click on a positive x and a negative x, and they disappear. So what we have here is 1x, and on the left side we have negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have negative 7 on one side, so I'm going to type in negative 7 and see if this is correct. Okay, so this check shows us that x does equal -7. And this is how we solve using our algebra tiles. Now let's look at how to expand. So what we're going to do here is we're going to be multiplying these two together and expanding the equation. So this first equation we have is -3x. And we're going to build that on this side. And then our second part, in the parentheses, we're going to build on the right side. It's -3x, so I'm going to change the tiles to negative. And because this is vertical, I'm going to click this button, and it rotates our tiles for us, so it could fit into this space. So I'm going to build 3 negative x's. And on the other side, we have -2x. So I'm going to flip it again so it could fit into our space. And then I'm going to check, and it's correct. So now we're expanding our expression. So what you're essentially doing is you're going to look at the top and the side, and you're basically finding the area and placing what the answer would be. So looking here, we have a -x and a -x. And if we multiply that together, we know it'll be +x². So we're going to change back to +x². Same in this space. We have the -x and a -x, and that is x². So for this problem, we're going to be building the same ones. And what's good about this tool is that we can press that button and it duplicates what we've already done. So we can highlight this and just drag it down. So what do we have in the middle? After we have expanded our equation, we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x². So on here, you could type it on your keyboard. You can type everything on your keyboard, but the x², you're going to need to press on this keypad here. So I'm just going to write 6 x². See if it's correct. All right, it's correct. Let's try one more equation. So if you want a new problem, you can just press that one right there. Okay, so we have x minus 3 times x minus 3. So again, we're going to build our first one on the left here. Flip the rotation. Here's x and minus 3. So we need -1s. 1, 2, and 3. And on the other side is the same. Oops. I'm going to make a positive. Need to build an x and a minus 3. So change the signs. -1, -2, and -3. And now we're going to be finding the area and building the model in this inside space. And for every problem you have, after you're done building it, you will always have a rectangle on the inside. So we're finding this area, or this times this. So x times x, we know is x². Oh, so it's not letting me click this because we forgot to check the check button. Gotta check our model. Okay, so now it's telling us it's correct, and it's telling us to expand your expression. So again, x times x is x². Drag that on there. X times -1 is -x. We're going to switch the signs. And here's negative x. And again, negative 1 times x is negative x. Oops, let's put that together. And one more. Okay, here we see negative 1 and x. So again, that is negative x, and negative x. So now for this area, the top is negative 1, the left is also negative 1, so negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, so drag that tile in there, and here it's also positive 1 and positive 1. And we know it'll look the same at the bottom, so I'm just going to duplicate it. Whoops, not that one. Okay, so let's say you accidentally clicked on the wrong tile. You can go on the eraser. I'm going to undo what I just did. Alright, so back to duplicating. I'm going to highlight this. And duplicate it. And so I'm going to drag it down. And one more time. Okay. So now let's look at our equation, or our expanded expression, and see what we have on the inside. So we have an x squared. I'm going to type in x squared. And we have negative x's. Let's count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have negative 6x. And how many ones do we have? We have 9 ones that are positive. So let's see if this is our expanded expression. All right. So that is how we expand our expression using these algebra tiles. I hope that through this tutorial you learned how to solve and to expand with the algebra tiles online.